Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely reading about random shift. This is a general or collective reading, so take what works for you and just leave the rest. Parts may or may not resonate with you. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you are watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. So for the underlying energy for this reading, I did a quick meditation, just trying to speed my readings up a little bit, make them a little bit shorter for the algorithm. And so we are talking about the chariot. And the chariot in tarot represents being on your destined path. You can see this person's on the chariot. There's no need for any reins. They are on their way and they are leaving the city, which can represent needing to leave your comfort zone to be able to be on your destined path, but being determined to do so. And as I said, there's no reins because you're on God's path. And then we have, for the underlying energy from my oracle, Tales from the Vector, we have the Hermit or Safe Travels. So this is Feish. He's a dragon baby, and all the dragon babies in my oracle have an angel to accompany them because they're very busy and they get into trouble. They're very curious, like a cat. And he is a seeker. He's a seeker of the truth. So he loves to go into the darkest places and has zero fear. And he's got his angel is a First Nations angel, and she is very busy looking after him. He's sitting on this totem pole, but this totem pole is actually from a different time and space. This is from Japan, and this is the three monkeys. Hear no ego, see no ego, speak no ego. And then we have, in the traditional tarot, the hermit would climb the mountain, and when his lantern is full of the light of the North Star, then he will come down from the mountain, and that's when he takes action. Here, this painting is actually located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, or close by. And this is talking about the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. So this is a beautiful display of lights. If you ever get a chance to see them, they're quite commonly, because of the flatness of the land, throughout the prairies in Canada, we can see the Northern Lights. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful display of swirling colors and very pretty. So, but this is representing the North Star energy in the lantern of the hermit. And it's saying that safe travels because this journeyman is on, he has asked God for guidance. What do I need to do? Meditation, prayer, going very deep with that so that before taking the next steps of action. And we have the Strength card coming out. So strength is representing having the integrity to do exactly that, to go very deep within yourself, to heal some sort of energy, to face your fears, basically anything that's holding you back from being able to move forward on your journey. And we can see that this young woman has this infinity symbol above her head. This represents 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And she's digging deep into this lion's mouth. And, this would be a very dangerous thing to do because it's a male lion and it's full grown. But look how submissive it's being. That's because he knows that she means business. This lion represents our inner fears. Quite often from when we are, leftover fragments of it from when we're a child. And this is about digging deep to be able to face those fears, to move forward 100% in our journey. And then we have the Knight of Swords coming in. So the Knight of Swords is bringing in some sort of information. Now, all of the knights that are about communication and information, we actually have two knights here. We have the Knight of Cups as well. So the information for them is basically the same. The Knight of Swords is sometimes considered a fool rushing in because he is in an anxious way, and sometimes this is like pressing the panic button. And what is he away he's running away from something, towards something. And is he running away from himself, maybe? Because this is talking about destined path and going inward and facing your fears. So maybe he's running away from that. And we can see his element is the element of air, and so this is your thoughts. The swords represent mental intelligence, discipline of the mind. He may only have half the information because we can only see half his sword, and we can't see the point, and maybe he can't see the point of the communication or information either. He's got a red flag on the back of his helmet, and he's, pushing this horse really, really hard. The horses in tarot represent, heartfelt energy, and also passion. But he's pushing this horse to the point where you can see the horse is totally stressed out. They're running against the wind through barren land, and even the clouds in the sky look like someone ripped, the sky open. So this energy is talking about being stressed out and in a panic of some sort. Sometimes this card can represent an investigation going on. It can represent like a private detective, also technology being used, with the sword energy, like hidden mics and hidden cameras and that sort of things, legal and illegal investigations, that type of, a spy, that type of energy. And then the Knight of Cups, he is, look at, these two are traveling in the opposite direction. So I feel like that it's interesting. I feel like this knight has already been where this knight is going. He's like, look at the difference. He's totally reined in, calm. He knows what he's going to do. And he's going in the opposite direction. So whatever this knight is running from, this knight is moving towards. Interesting. So this is talking about the knight in shining armor. You can see, like, look at the difference in energy. He's totally chill. He's got not a red flag, but like one of those eagle flags on the back of his helmet. And he's got this cup in hand, and usually when the Knight of Cups is coming in, he's the one we read about in the romance novels, with the knight in shining armor, with the cup of love, rescuing the damsel in distress, that type of energy. So, and you can see how his horse is like totally calm. And look at, it almost looks like the same horse, doesn't it? Just with a different rider, and look at the difference in the energy. So, when the thing about the knights, one thing to remember in tarot, the characters are all archetypes. So these could be females as well as males in their masculine energy. And also the information, you don't have to expect a knight to show up at your door. It'd be cool if one did, but this is more likely to be a phone call, a text message, maybe an invitation in the mail, or flowers becoming delivered from this one, documents. It could be this energy of maybe you're on social media and you see, someone messages you there, or you see something on social media that inspires you. You maybe see an event posted, you attend the event, and then you meet someone in person. And it's also saying pay attention to what's going on at the top of the pyramid. Whatever's going on with the elites trickles down to everyone in the pyramid, and everything that's happening with everyone in the pyramid trickles up to, or rises up to pressure the elite. So this energy is talking about communication and information coming in. If this isn't a romantic cup of love, then it could be love of any kind. Like it could be some message coming in, or communication about a family member or a friend or a child or whatever that is. And it could also talk about something you love to do or be. And then we have the shift disturber. So the shift disturber, he is a walking contradiction. We don't quite know what he's up to. He is, he's planted 2 swords here, and remember, these are your thoughts. But he's sneaking around in broad daylight, and he's wearing these red boots and this red hat. Like he's, you can see him from a mile away, right? And so if he's a thief, he's not a thief in the night that comes, with the flashlight at midnight. This is someone that is sometimes doing white collar crime. They're sitting at their desk, they're pushing paper. They look like they're doing their job. How can you tell they're not? They're hard at work. Just what are they working at? And so sometimes these, why does he have 2 planted? Why did he leave 2 behind? We are not certain of that. But this is talking about, he has 5 in his arms here. And sometimes this could represent intellectual material, or it could be patents, that sort of thing. If he's sitting at his desk, he could be doing money laundering and identity theft and forgery and whatever else. So this card is talking about basically what, with this energy. Like, one thing that really bothers me about this energy is the way he's carrying the swords. Because have you ever seen anyone carry swords like that? Put it in the comment below if you've ever carried a bunch of swords this way. I mean, it is so dangerous, and he's not looking where he's going. He's looking backwards and moving forwards, and he's tiptoeing. He could so easily trip, and then he could totally injure himself and even lose his hands. It just doesn't make sense to carry swords like this. And if he's this dangerous with his own energy, how careful do you think he is going to be with other people's, It's just not, for me, it's someone that, even if it's not someone that's a thief or whatever, it's just someone that can cause a lot of issues just because they're reckless for no reason. And then we have the energy of the Wheel of Fortune turning. So what is going on here? We have the Chariot. You're on your destined path. You've been waiting a while. You've been in isolation, and you finally have come down from the mountain, and you're ready to take action. You've done all this inner work to heal all your fears so you can go full tilt. And right away, maybe this information is coming from you. And maybe this information, maybe this is coming, he's coming towards you because he's running from the Knight of Cups as well. Because maybe the Knight of Cups came and offered you a cup of love, and maybe you've said yes, and maybe the Knight of Swords was trying to get there before he did, but he didn't. And the Knight of Cups is already on his way out. I don't know what this guy's doing in the picture. It's hard to say. We don't have the info. It's that's what I mean. A walking contradiction. What is he doing? So we have the Wheel of Fortune here, and this is talking about actually 3 wheels coming together in one. And the past, the present, and the future all coming together in the now moment in synchronicity. And on one of these wheels, though, are the Hebrew letters for the name of God, Tetragrammaton, which is a sacred geometric symbol that represents perfect equalization of all forces. That perfect alignment and energy. You're on God's path when you're here. We have 2 cards here saying that, and that's after going and asking God for guidance. Well, now you have taken the advice and you're on the path. Let's keep going. We have the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is he's sitting on his throne and facing, he's a visionary. He's looking into the future. You can see his body language. He's ready to get up at a moment's notice. If there's an adventure, he's on it. And this is talking about having a lot of passion. The wands represent the element of fire, and they are made of wood, and wood fuels fire. So this is about taking passionate action. So it's basically, you could be the King of Wands, and maybe you have gone, and maybe something happened here, and you went and you were, the Hermit usually comes up after a dark night of the soul, when something has shaken your very foundation, where you're like, I don't know what to do. But now you're on you come out of that isolation, you're on your destined path. the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. This is really good energy. Your luck is changing. Things are going to go much better from whatever happened in this situation here, because you had the integrity to go inward and really take a good look at yourself and the situation and see, like, okay, what can I do differently? What have I learned from this? How can I change this? And so this is kind of how the King of Wands is, very visionary. He's willing to tackle difficult projects and has a very an open mind. And this energy also, we can see these salamanders with chasing their tail in the background, and also the lion here. This is representing protection from fire, because he is the element of fire. And it's talking about, a while back I noticed that there's a face here, and do you think I can, I can never, it always makes me laugh, this face. There's two eyes, a mustache, and then the smoke coming out. Now, this could just mean that it's because the King of Wands is smoking hot, and he is, or it could be that where there's smoke, there's fire. One thing to know about the King of Wands is that he's a fire sign, and the fire signs, that's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, have a tendency to take a while to settle down. Out of all the kings, he would be the last one to be in a traditional marriage early in life, very, very unlikely. And this is just, the fire signs really, really, they protect their independence. And so it's really important to them. So this is kind of the energy that we have here. And so sometimes his love of new adventure and tackling new projects bleeds into his romantic life. So sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. So just know, how mature your King of Wands is before you get, if you're looking for a serious relationship. And then we have here the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles, there's 10 Pentacles in the tarot. So Four of Pentacles isn't a whole lot. But maybe it is saying, though, that you have a strong foundation. Like, you understand how to use money. This is saying that you probably have a JOB, journey of the broke, where you go to work every day, you're able to make your payments, your mortgage payment, your rent or whatever that is, but you can't go after your heart's desires because there's never quite enough to do so. And so this card sometimes it also talks about leaving your comfort zone, and sometimes having to leave the city that you came from, leaving people that make you comfortable, and expanding your horizons, like the King of Wands. This is, he has his back to the city here. So sometimes this can represent, turning your back to the city. This is this Pentacle card. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimension. And a big part of that is money, so it's shown by the coin. But this is talking, you could have all the money in the world and you still aren't living the lifestyle that you want. So this is talking about more than just money. It's talking about lifestyle, but this particular card is talking about money. It's talking about the 3 levels. And so this is the safe money, where you have enough to make your payments and all that, but not a whole lot left over to go after your heart's desires or your crowning glory. And then we have, so sometimes this card can say you've been playing small, or you've been sold short, or, you've been selling yourself short. And it can be talking about missing opportunities because you're afraid to take, calculated risks. And when I say with finances, of course, you want to be very careful. So you do want to take calculated risks. You don't want to just throw your money willy-nilly. But, it's talking about, at the same time, if you want to move into the next level of making money, sometimes you have to take a calculated risk. And then we have a Tower coming in. So the Tower is saying that something has been happening here, and we can clearly see this with this energy down here. Something's going on. Your fortune is turning. And I feel like you have a new outlook, and maybe are feeling like, okay, I'm going to start following my passion instead of always doing what is expected of me. And maybe this is, something has happened here, because we have a dark night of the soul with the Hermit. So something is happening here. So this can talk about, the Tower is a reality check. And the thing is about the Tower is, quite often, like, the universe will communicate to us. And at first it might have been a whisper, hey, you might want to take a look at that. Then, all of a sudden you don't. So the frying pan comes out, whack over the head. And you're like, wow, that hurt. Why'd you do that, universe? And the universe is saying that's nothing compared to what's going to happen if you don't pay attention to what's going on here. There's something that you really need to take a look at. But you don't. So then the 2x4 comes out and you still don't. So then what has to happen? Boom, lightning hits. And now, your turret's on fire, your castle's being destroyed, and you're going to have to build from the ground up. And this is also talking, there's 2 people falling out of this tower, and one of them is like totally shocked, had no idea this was happening, and the other one is like, oh man, I knew I should have done something about this sooner. Either way, both people are going to suffer the discomfort of the tower. This is saying sometimes if you nip things in the bud, that then you would be able to stop this before it becomes like so serious. But in the end, this is talking about the reality check is needed because these people are not, both these people are not living the true reality. And, one of them maybe has an idea they're not, and the other one is totally oblivious to the fact that they aren't. And we have the Hierophant coming in. So the Hierophant brings justice down from the spiritual realm down to the physical. He has his right hand in the form of a blessing because he is saying, if you're on the right side of the law, I'm bringing blessings into you. If you're on the wrong side of the law, well, you've been caught and it's time to pay the price. And to pay the consequences of your actions. And so the Hierophant brings this down from the spiritual realm, from God's judgment first. And he, if you're a religious person and you go to church, this could be someone, officials in your church that have authority for the way things are run in your religion. And so that could be the bishop, the cardinal, the Pope. This could represent gurus. It can represent the energy of maybe rabbis, that sort of thing. So whoever is in charge of the church and runs the church and makes the rules in the church is responsible for bringing justice to this situation in God's way. And then the next way could be through spirituality. So you may be more into spirituality and someone that prays and meditates and goes straight to source rather than using an intermediary. So that would be your way of speaking with God. And that would also be coming down to earth. And whatever these 2 monks here are, the Hierophant is giving them instructions to make sure that God's will is carried out. And so when we see the Hierophant, it means that traditional structure is going to be stepping in. So the laws of the country, that type of energy, are going to bring justice down to the 3D because judgment has been called on in spiritual court. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is talking about one of 4 queens in the Minor Arcana. And she is considered to be the coldest of the 4 queens. She's been there, she's done that, and she has the t-shirt. She has zero desire for bullshit anymore. Now she's willing to be on her path and, take advice and all of that from God. But if you come into her with some bullshit, she's going to be off with your heads. She's not in the mood. And she has clarity. Her head is out of the clouds. And so she is ready to, she knows what she will put up with, what she won't. She has a lot of discernment. And she's probably gained it the hard way. You can see that there is one bird in the background here flying over her head. And that quite often can represent that she is independent. If anyone in the tarot is divorced, it's usually, or separated, it's usually the queens and the kings of swords. You notice here that there is also birds flying here, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So this energy is like, hers is only one. So this could represent that he belongs to, he's a knight, and there's 4 knights in the, he's one of 4 knights in the minor arcana. So the Queen, she's at the top there. She's ready to, like, she is open, but at the same time not to bullshift. And it's kind of interesting because, you know, when you see the tree here, it almost looks a lot like the tree here. And so the Knight of Swords is bringing information to the Queen of Swords, maybe about the bullshift that happened. And yeah, so we don't know exactly, but I am going to clarify it for those of you who want clarification. Going from the bottom to the top and back down again, we have you digging deep within yourself because you want to reach your infinite potential and you have the strength and the courage to do so. You know that, you know, if you want to move forward and have the lifestyle and everything that you want, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. So maybe you're leaving the city where you came from, and maybe you're leaving a relationship, because we do have this energy here. There could have been a third party involvement, something like that. The Hierophant is coming out to bring justice to a situation, and the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor because of that. There's something about this shift disturber energy. You know, sometimes this card represents the 7-year itch as well. And the 7-year itch is when, statistically, they can see that when people are married, they're most likely to get divorced statistically in the first year of marriage, which I kind of found shocking, but I had no idea. If not, then between the 7th and 8th year. And they call it the 7-year itch. But what's interesting, it also, when people purchase a house, a lot of times they sell between the 7th and 8th year of owning it. And also if someone has a business, you know, they could even be like, it could be a perfectly good business, but they just wake up one morning and they're like, don't want to do this anymore. And so, you know, all of a sudden your partner's like, see ya, you know, that kind of energy. So whatever's going on, there's definitely some passion here because we have the King of Wands, you know, with the passionate action here. And we have these two knights. So it's really interesting because they're going in different directions, these two knights. So let's see what's going on. I'm going to clarify it further. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you so much for your time and your energy, likes and comments and shares and subscribes and all of that. I really do appreciate it. It's helping me build my channel. And I'm going to clarify now with the Oracle. The numbers on these cards represent the energy, or the numbers the numbers of the paintings as they are listed on my website, talesfromthevector.com, and I will put them in the description box below in the order they appear here, and then you will be able to take a look at them if you want. You'll know which ones to look for. So right off the devil, we've got, right off the devil, right off the beginning here, we have the devil. Dang it, the devil's been showing up in the readings quite a bit lately, just in the last couple days more than anything. So this is, I feel like that might be because of some of the energy around the world. But this is talking about temptation. So, you know, when the devil card comes out, I always cover it with the next card up, because when someone's being tempting someone, they're being manipulative, and you're not going to get the truth from them. So it's just better to cover it. I want to see what minion does the devil send in, or does God stop the energy, or, you know, cover it for you. And we have transition. So there's a major transition coming in on this end. So this is trying to cause a major transition here, this energy. Now the death card doesn't necessarily mean physical death, and actually most of the time it doesn't. But it's the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. Maybe this is talking about because maybe the devil thought you were an easy target because you had so many fears, and now that you have dug deep, maybe that's what the king here, or the Knight of Swords, is saying. Oh my gosh, like the Queen of Swords has faced all her fears, and now she's totally fearless, and she's actually very discerning, and she's not going to listen to any bullshit. And so the devil's like, oh no, we can't have that. We need for her to fall for it. I feel that's what's happening here. Now I have a good idea. And then right on top of this is Gemini. of course, this card has been coming up in all the readings lately, and I really feel it's because of the energy that Gemini, we just had Uranus move into Gemini maybe a few weeks, over a month ago. And Uranus has not been in the sign of Gemini since 1941 to 1949. And that's when World War II was happening and the aftermath. And the bottom line is that with Uranus in Gemini, the truth is going to come out. And we have like 7.5 to 8 years of this. And we're seeing it every day. Like things that have been hidden behind the scenes for like decades. All of a sudden, boom, every day on the news, there's someone, the truth was found out, the truth was found out. Like we had the truth found out about a situation that is so many, like it's just, it's insane how it went it went totally viral all around the world, and it was about Lego, a children's toy. And yet it is showing a lot of truth, and in the wildest, weirdest ways. And that's this, and that's why I feel this card is coming out. It's coming out in almost every reading. We're going to be in this energy until 2033. So if you're on the right side of the law, that the truth, is your best friend, and so is Uranus. But if you're on the wrong side of the law, then Uranus is a pain in the butt. And we have Mother's Worry here. This card has been coming in a lot again. I haven't seen this card for quite a while. And just in the last week or so, Mother's Worry is coming out a lot. And it could be that you have a mother that's worried about you if you're hanging around someone like this. But this, I feel, goes much deeper. This is more about an energy of the whole world kind of being like, what is going on in this world? Like just the weirdest things are happening if you pay attention to the news. And, like 5 minutes a day is enough for me. I'll watch something and I'll be like, okay, I've heard enough. That's enough truth for today, thank you. It's just like, okay, what next? And then we have the Aries. So the Aries energy, I feel, is also an astrological thing coming up. I just want to point out, when I have signs come up in my general collective readings, I am not talking about individuals. That's not my intention at all. I don't feel like it's really like, it can't always be Aries and Gemini's fault. There's no way. So I feel that a better way to look at these energies is the state of being of each of the signs. Every single sign has its own strengths and its weaknesses. And you have, if you ever get your birth chart done, you'll see that they're in different houses in your chart. So you can learn from the energy. We can all learn from the energy of each of the horoscope signs. Each has their own unique strengths and weaknesses. And how do they handle when, what they're really good at? How do they handle it? Maybe if we handle it like them, we'll be much better off. So I feel that there was a lot of planets that moved into Aries, in the first 6 months of this year. And this is the beginning of July 2026 when I'm doing this reading. I feel this energy is going to be with us for a long time. So there's a lot of new, and you have to have an open mind right now, and you have to be willing to think about doing things in new ways. And being a little bit more like the King of Wands, and we have that sitting right on the Wheel of Fortune in the King of Wands. This is talking about being willing to go into the depths, the deep dark depths, to really dig deep within yourself so that you can face your fears and be able to move forward and experiment in small ways just to begin with, of doing things differently to see if maybe, shift works out better for you if you do so. We have Shooting Star. And yeah, this is the base chakra. This is about survival. It's sitting on this energy right here of, if you're wishing upon a star and then you're still sitting there 2 years later and going, well, nothing happened. Well, maybe it's because you didn't take any action. And that's what this is saying. You need to take action sometimes. And it's sitting right on the tower and on this energy here. And it's a good attitude can take you very, very far. And we have foolish expectations. So I feel like this energy is saying, you know, expectations will always create limitations. So you would be very foolish to go on a path that is not in God's divine order, thinking that if you hang out with the devil here, that you know, the devil's going to promise you, oh, you could do this so much faster. Just cut some corners, do this, do that, you know, and this person's way better for you than that one. You know, you need to change. That type of energy. And then the next thing you know, you're on a very foolish journey if you go in this direction. And if you're on God's path, you can expect for this to be an upgrade in your energy for sure. So good advice. If you want the Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor, then you need to participate in a strong way in your future. And I would say that is the meaning of this reading. And it's very true. I feel like this is really good advice for all of us. I want to say thank you for your likes and comments, your time and energy. I really appreciate it. And consider subscribing if you resonate. I'm honored when you do so. I'll be back with another reading about random shift for you soon. Bye for now.